Manchester United keen on Paris Saint-Germain forward Randall Kolo Muani, Newcastle United looking at move for Barcelona defender Andreas Christensen and Leicester City plan Kiernan Dewsbury Hall return. Manchester United are interested in signing France forward Randall Kolo Muani, 26, from PSG, and a loan with an option to buy in January could be an option. L'Equipe, by Get French Football News, external. Kolo Muani is not part of manager Luis Enrique's plans and RB Leipzig is also a possible destination for the player. Sky Sports Germany, external. Newcastle United are targeting a move for Barcelona defender Andreas Christensen, 28, and selling the Denmark international could allow the La Liga club to register Spain forward Dani Olmo, 26, fichages in Spanish, external. Newcastle plan to sell England left-back Kieran Trippier, 34, and Paraguay attacking midfielder Miguel Almiron, 30, to help with their position when it comes to profit and sustainability rules. Football Insider Chelsea are prepared to allow English midfielders Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, 26, and Carney Chukwuemeka, 21, to leave the club on loan in January. Mirror, external. Leicester City are planning to bring Dewsbury Hall back to the club, having sold him to Chelsea in the summer. Football Insider, external. Former Brighton and Chelsea manager Graham Potter rebuffed interest from Wolves last month as the Midlands club looked into options to replace Gary O'Neill, who has now been sacked. Senegal forward Nicholas Jackson almost joined Aston Villa and Bournemouth from Villarreal in January 2023, before going on to move to Chelsea. 90 men, external. Italian club AC Milan are closing in on securing 26-year-old United States forward Christian Pulisic on a new contract. Fabrizio Romano, external. AC Milan also looks set to extend the deals of Netherlands midfielder Tijani Reinders and France keeper Mike Maignan on new and improved terms. Calciomercato, in Italian. External is the new head coach of Manchester United. Days don't get much better than this when you drop two of the most high-profile members of your squad, Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho, not just from the team, but the entire traveling party. Ruben Amorim would have known scrutiny would come 2 minutes from time at Manchester City. It seemed Amorim was in for an awkward post-match debrief, but one of the players who has responded best to his arrival turned Amorim and United's evening on its head. Amad Diallo won the penalty that allowed Bruno Fernandes to equalize. Then the Ivory Coast forward transitioned into an advanced position from the wing-back slot he was initially given by his new boss. Tucked in a brilliant winner less than 2 minutes later. I think so, said Amorim. When asked if he felt United deserved their first win at Etihad Stadium since 2021, we did a great job. We believed a lot. It was different to the defeat at Arsenal. There I didn't feel the belief I did today. Amad is in a good moment. Erik ten Hag brought him to the first team. Ruud van Nistelrooy did a great job. Now don't make the same mistakes we made in the past. Amorim didn't explain what the previous mistakes were, whether they related to Amad or his team as a whole. There wasn't really time. In an 8-minute discussion with the media, the biggest talk centered around two players who were not even in the stadium. As United celebrated their winner, Rashford posted a picture on social media. "Yeses, love it lads," was the caption, with 2 heart emojis for emphasis. Garnacho stayed silent. Both had trained at Carrington on Sunday morning, but neither had been selected for the City game. Manchester was not short of rumor around the reason for their respective omissions. Yet, when he came to explain, Amorim repeatedly stressed it was not a disciplinary issue. The more you delved into his words, it was hard to escape the conclusion it boiled down to a lack of discipline, or at least slipped standards. Amorim even used the recent round of redundancies among staff members to drive home the point that if his demands are not met, there will be consequences. Next week, next game, new life, he said. For me it's important. The performance in training, the performance in games, the way you dress, the way you eat, the way you engage with your teammates, the way you push your teammates. Everything is important. In our context, in the beginning of something, when we want to change a lot of things, when people in our clubs are losing their jobs, we have to make the standards really high. Today the team proved we can leave anyone out of the squad and manage to win if you play together. Amorim used the example of Johnny Evans to highlight that, with more of his squad fit, there will not always be a place for everyone, as the veteran defender found to his cost today. Yet there is clearly a significant difference between Evans, at 36 enjoying an Indian summer in his career back at the club where it all started, and both Rashford and Garnacho, Rashford is one of United's highest earners. Garnacho one of its brightest young stars. Significantly, they both also prefer to play in the wide, attacking role that does not exist in Amorim's new-look team, but where Ahmed has adapted quickly and flourished. Evidently, Rashford and Garnacho have not. It's a big talking point because he's obviously seen things he doesn't like. Former United skipper Roy Keane told Sky Sports, but for us it's not a big surprise, because both players have been poor and he has said enough is enough. He is putting a marker down. Let's see how they react to it. We have talked about attitude for the last couple of years. A new manager will be picking up on all this. The problem for Rashford in particular is that there have been issues. He was dropped by Ten Hag for a match at Wolves after missing the start of a team meeting, and in January was axed by Ten Hag in response to finding out Rashford had stayed longer than scheduled on a planned trip to Belfast, consequently turning up late for training. At 27, Rashford should be in the prime of his career, but there is feeling of drift, it appears. Amorim is willing to confront head-on. More disappointment for humble Mount. Rashford's absence from the starting lineup had been flagged on Saturday when what turned out to be an accurate report of the United chief found its way onto social media. Leaking of team information would have led to an internal investigation in Sir Alex Ferguson's time, and there would have been consequences if the miscreant had been identified. Amorim is taking a more relaxed approach. It is not a good thing, but I think it is impossible to fix, said Amorim. You have a lot of people in the club and the players talk with the agents. And, in addition to Rashford and Garnacho, there was another member of the United camp who probably found victory tinged with massive disappointment. Amorim has already identified England midfielder Mason Mount as a potentially key member of his squad. Yet Mount, beset by so many injuries since his £55 move from Chelsea 18 months ago, that he was starting only his 8th Premier League game for United at City, lasted only 14 minutes before he felt something when he stretched to control the ball. There was so much safe play out there from both teams, but Diallo was different and he eventually got his reward for his endeavor. First by winning the penalty that led to United's equalizer, which changed the momentum of the game, and then scoring their winner a few seconds later. It was Bruno Fernandes who scored from the spot to make it 1-1, but that situation only came about because Diallo was alert enough to anticipate Matheus Nunes' poor back pass, and then stayed calm when he got inside the City box. He didn't rush, which led to Nunes making a ridiculous challenge on him to concede a penalty, and that composure and confidence was typical of his whole performance because he seemed determined to impress his manager. You could say the same for his second goal. Again, City should have done much better defensively because no one was pressing Lisandro Martinez when he played him in, and Josko Gvardiol was much too high with his defensive line. That left a big gap for Diallo to run into, and Nunes did not track him, but it still needed an unbelievable finish to squeeze the ball past Ederson and past Gvardiol, who made a complete mess of his attempt to backheel it off the line.